You've caught your reflection in the hallway mirror and thought, this isn't how I pictured looking at this age. That flat, shapeless hair isn't doing your beautiful face any favors, and somewhere along the way, everyone stopped telling you the truth about it. Imagine 5 haircuts that make women in their 80s look radiant, lifted, and completely like themselves again. I research worst style and beauty mistakes and youth-boosting fixes for mature women, so you get simple, proven transformations that work instantly. Today we're perfecting 5 haircuts that make older women look instantly younger after 80, and by part 3 you'll want to pause and look in the mirror. I mean it. We're covering the soft crop, the silver shag, the rounded bob, the face-framing pixie, and the layered lob. And the very first one, I see women avoiding it for the wrong reason. Let's go. 1. The soft crop. You have probably been told that at your age short means safe. Nobody mentioned that safe can also mean shrinking, and shrinking is not the goal here. This is the mistake almost every woman over 80 makes without realizing it. Here's the part nobody explains. A crop that is cut too uniform all one length actually flattens whatever volume you have left at the crown. Your stylist isn't trying to hurt you. They just default to the easiest cut instead of the most flattering one for softened, fragile texture. This one is everything. The fix isn't more length. It's movement. A soft crop with gentle graduation around the crown lifts instantly, without demanding a single extra minute of styling from you. Ask specifically for texturizing at the crown, not just a trim at the ends. That single request changes the entire shape of your face. Swap your all one-length trim for graduated layers concentrated at the crown and temples. Swap heavy gel for a lightweight mousse applied only at the roots, since product weight is often the real enemy here. Honestly, I wish someone had told my own mother this before her 90th birthday photos. She kept asking for just a trim, and every single time it made her look more tired, not less. Maintenance is simple. A light trim every 6 weeks keeps the graduation crisp, since soft texture loses shape faster than it used to. There is one detail that most women skip entirely when they ask for this cut, and it is the exact thing that determines whether it lifts your whole face or falls flat by lunchtime. That detail is the parting. A slightly off-center part opens the eye area in a way a center part never will at this stage of thinning. Try it once and you will see the difference in a single photograph. Your bone structure has not gone anywhere. It has just been buried under the wrong shape for years. This cut brings it back into the light, gently and honestly. But the soft crop is not the only cut on this list that surprised me. The next one might be the one your stylist has been quietly avoiding. 2. The silver shag. Have you ever wondered why some women in their 80s have hair that looks alive, almost lit from within, while other silver hair just looks tired? It is rarely the color. It is almost always the cut underneath it. Here is the surprising truth. A blunt, choppy shag with no real structure was designed for thick young hair decades ago. And most stylists never updated the shape for finer, mature strands. Your hair has changed. The cut you are wearing has not. Fix 1. Movement over mass. Ask for a shag with soft internal layering rather than heavy chunky pieces, since chunky layers on thin hair create gaps instead of texture. Fix 2. Face framing pieces cut slightly shorter around the jaw lift immediately, and they cost you nothing extra at your next appointment. Fix 3. Avoid blunt ends entirely, because a razor cut finish reads as soft and intentional instead of stiff. Fix 4. Keep length just past the chin, since anything longer pulls your whole face downward at this stage. Fix 5, and this one surprises people, request slightly uneven layers rather than perfectly symmetrical ones, because uneven catches light more naturally. Yes, that's simple. There is one technique that changes how this entire haircut reads in every single photograph you take from now on, and it takes your colorist exactly 4 extra minutes during your next appointment. That technique is a soft low light woven just beneath the crown, which adds dimension that flat silver alone cannot achieve. Swap flat single process silver for 2 subtly blended tones, and swap your old boar bristle brush for a wide tooth comb, since brushing this shag flattens the very texture you just paid for. I have watched women who felt invisible for years suddenly get stopped by strangers after this one change, and it was never about looking younger. It was about looking like themselves again, fully. Maintain it with a leave-in silk treatment twice weekly, since silver texture dries faster than any other hair type as we age. There is a reason I saved this next haircut for the middle of this list. And it has everything to do with the shape of your face specifically. 3. The rounded bob. This one thing is doing more damage than you realize, and it is not even the haircut itself. It is the length everyone assumes is universally safe after 80. The blunt bob that sits exactly at the jaw has become the default recommendation, but here is what nobody explains. At this stage, that exact length draws a hard horizontal line right where skin has softened the most, and it does the opposite of what you want. The real fix is rounding, not shortening. A rounded bob curves gently inward at the ends instead of cutting straight across, which softens the jawline rather than outlining it. That single curve makes an enormous difference, and it is something any stylist can execute in minutes. You needed to hear this. Swap that hard blunt line for gentle inward rounding at the ends, and swap a center part for a soft side part, since a side part naturally lifts one side of the face higher than the other for a more youthful asymmetry. If you are still curling your ends outward, swap that too, because inward curled ends are what create the rounding effect in the first place. Your natural elegance was never the problem. The straight line cutting across your jaw was. There is something specific about how light hits a rounded shape that a blunt shape simply cannot replicate, no matter how expensive the salon or the products used afterward. Maintenance here is about the round brush, not the scissors. A weekly round brush blowout keeps that inward curve intact between salon visits, and it takes less time than you'd expect. I promise you this next haircut solves a problem almost none of the first two even touch, and it might be the most requested one on this entire list once you see it. 4. The face framing pixie. You spent 20 minutes this morning trying to add life to hair that just sat there, didn't you? That struggle is not about effort. It's about a cut that was never built to move in the first place. Here's what is genuinely surprising. Most pixies given to women in their 80s are cut too tight to the scalp, which was meant for very different thicker hair textures decades ago. Tight to the scalp on softened hair reads as severe instead of chic. The answer is longer on top, cropped at the sides. This face-framing pixie keeps enough length at the crown for genuine movement, while still feeling effortlessly short and easy to manage. It flatters cheekbones in a way almost nothing else does at this age. Swap the tight scalp-hugging clipper cut for scissor cut length on top, and swap daily blow drying for simple finger styling with a lightweight cream, since heat tools on this texture create more damage than volume. If your sideburns are being cut too short, ask your stylist to leave a soft wisp there instead, because it frames your cheekbones beautifully. This is the one that made a friend of mine stop mid-conversation and ask what changed, and all she had done was grow out 2 inches on top. Those beautiful eyes deserve a cut that draws attention upward, not downward, and this one does exactly that. For maintenance, a texturizing cream worked through damp hair each morning is the only product this style genuinely needs. The final haircut on this list ties every single lesson from the first 4 together, and honestly, it might be the one your face has been waiting for this entire time. 5. The layered lob. We have reached the last one, and I saved it for a reason. This cut solves the single biggest complaint I hear from women exactly your age, and that complaint is feeling like your hair has no personality left. The truth is simple but rarely said out loud. A layered lob, longer than a bob but shorter than shoulder length, gives softened hair enough structure to hold shape while still swaying naturally when you move. Fix 1. Request layers that start at the cheekbone rather than lower down the length, since higher layers create lift exactly where you need it most. Fix 2. Avoid one-length lobs entirely, because flat length at this stage reads as heavy rather than elegant. Fix 3. Ask for slightly longer layers in the back than the front, which creates a subtle lifted silhouette from every angle. Fix 4. Request a soft curtain fringe if your forehead has become a focal point you'd rather soften. Fix 5, and this one matters most. Insist on a dry cut finish so your stylist can see exactly how your natural texture falls before trimming a single strand. This one is everything. Swap wet cutting for dry cutting at every future appointment, and swap a flat one-length silhouette for cheekbone high layering that actually moves. There is a version of you that has been waiting patiently underneath flat, shapeless hair for a very long time, and she is closer than you think. Maintenance is a weekly deep conditioning mask, since layered ends dry out faster than blunt ones and need the extra moisture to keep their shape soft. 5 haircuts, 1 truth. Your face was never the problem. The shape sitting on top of it was. You just learned 5 specific haircuts that most women spend their entire 80s never discovering on their own. The soft crop, the silver shag, the rounded bob, the face framing pixie, And the layered lob, each one built for exactly where your hair is right now, not where it used to be. Boom, your bone structure was always this stunning. Now it finally shows. Tell me, which one of these 5 haircuts are you going to ask for at your very next appointment? Next time, we're tackling the one clothing mistake that quietly adds 10 years the moment you walk into a room. Like this video, subscribe to Timeless Wisdom Path, and I'll see you in the next one.